Okay, hello everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the annual meeting for September 2nd, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order. And I would like to hand this over to Trustee Turner to do our land acknowledgements.
Thank you. The Louis School Division brings together a community of schools on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, Aninuak, and Dakota. Our division is located on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. We recognize that Manitoba is also the traditional land of the Anishinaabe and Dene. We respect the treaties made on this land and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and present. We dedicate ourselves to authentic alliances with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and cooperation. We recognize and honor Shoal Lake 40 First Nation, the source of Winnipeg's life-sustaining drinking water, as well as the treaty territories that generate and provide the electricity that powers daily activity throughout the province and beyond.
Thank you very much, Trustee Turner. We'd like to welcome everyone participating in this hybrid meeting. Board meetings follow a formal structure where the work of the board is conducted in a public setting that gathers parents, students, staff, and other community members. It is my duty to preserve order and decorum at all times. All in-person and verified virtual attendees are reminded to observe the protocol procedural bylaws and to engage in a respectful and orderly manner. We would like to remind everyone there is a 15-minute public question period at the end of the regular meeting when verified virtual participants and verified in-person participants can bring forward questions for clarification regarding items on today's agenda. If your questions are not related to tonight's agenda, please reach out to the division by emailing info@lrst.net. Finally, please be aware that we audio record board meetings for accuracy and that a link to the live stream of the meeting will be made available on the division's website. Unless other photographs, personal recordings, audio, visual, or otherwise are not permitted. Our vision is for all members of our community to excel as caring, confident, capable, and resilient lifelong learners who contribute to a democratic and sustainable world. Our mission is to provide a safe, inclusive, and engaging environment where personal and collective learning are valued and each one of us reaches our full potential. In accordance with our procedural bylaws, all board members shall read, sign, and adhere to the following documents. First is the school board's annual code of conduct, conflict of interest, which is a document that all board members are to sign and to publicly disclose if there are any prevailing, real, or perceived conflicts of interest to protect the integrity of the Louis Riel School Division. I have received all 8 signed documents from the trustees. And at this time, I'd like to raise the question to any of the trustees, whether there are any real or perceived conflicts of interest they'd like to disclose. Trustee Turner.
I work in the insurance industry. I'm an insurance broker.
Thank you very much. Trustee Palmquist.
My stepson attends a school in the LRSD, and my wife also works at another university.
Thank you. Trustee Nordheim.
I have a son and daughter-in-law working in the division, and 2 of my grandchildren are now attending school in the real school.
Thank you. Trustee Simignola.
Yeah, I work at CNRL in the logistics sector, and I do have a sister-in-law who works in the division. I have 2 nephews and a child who attends school in the division.
Thank you. Trustee Kolchak.
I'm the CEO of Peak of the Market, which runs and owns the Farm to School fundraising program, as well as have 2 children in the LRSD program, our schools.
Thank you, Trustee.
I'm good.
Trustee Severson.
I have a daughter who's an education student who works for the Aspire program. and is now doing her practicum in one of our schools.
Thank you. And trustee Walker.
I have 2 children attending LRSD schools, and I am employed as a teacher in the River East Transcona School.
Thank you very much. In addition to the school board's annual code of conduct conflict of interest, board members are also required to sign an oath of confidentiality and declaration of residency. And I have received each of those documents from each of the trustees. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to next move to the election of our chair and vice chair of the board. And so at this time, I would like to call for any nominees for board chair for the 2025-2026 school year. Trustee Turner.
I would like to nominate Chris Sigurdsson as chair.
You. Trustee Nordheim.
Sandy Henry.
Any other calls for nominees? Okay, so at this time, I'll ask each one of the Board of Trustees to write down who they'd like to vote for board chair for the 2025-2026 school year. Either trustee Sigurdsson or trustee Nevin. I'll come around and collect the papers, and assistant superintendent Jeff Anderson will help scrutinize here the results. So I've counted, and trustee or assistant superintendent Anderson has verified that we have a tied vote. And so at this time, according to PSA, we will be voting by lot. Essentially what happens is that I have everyone's name on a piece of paper. I'll get trustee or assistant superintendent Gunther to pull a name, and whoever's name is pulled casts the final vote. So the deciding vote will go to trustee Nordheim.
I will stick with the same vote as my original. ballot, and that was pending it.
Thank you. So based on the results of the nomination process, trustee Nemeth has been named chair for the 2025-2026 school year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you, Chris. You did a wonderful job.
So we're just gonna load that into the e-scribe, right, Lenore? Yep. And then we'll vote verifying the results of the election of chair. Okay, thank you very much, Lenore. So the motion will read that trustee Nemeth be declared chair of the board of the Louisville School Division Board of Trustees for the 2025-2026 school year. I've opened up the voting. Could I get a mover and a seconder, please? Trustee Kolchak and trustee Palmquist. And the vote is now open. And second. Okay.
I'm voting in favor. It's not coming.
Okay, same. Trustee Palmquist.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and the motion is passed.
Yeah.
Next, we move to the election of the vice chair, and so I will open up the floor for nominees for vice chair. Trustee Walker.
I'd like to nominate Irene.
Do I hear any more nominations? Okay, so congratulations, trustee Nordheim. You are now vice chair for the 2025-2026 school year. We will put that in e-scribe, Lenore. Okay, so the motion reads that trustee Nordheim be declared vice chair of the board of the Louisville School Division Board of Trustees for the 2025-2026 school year. Could I please get a mover and a seconder, please? Trustee Semignola and trustee Walker. And it's now open for voting.
Yeah, vote. I'm in favor.
In favor?
Yeah, I'm still not getting an option to vote, but yes.
Yes. And I'll document yours. Okay, so now at this point in the meeting, I will hand it over to the elected chair, who is now trustee Nemeth. And we'll go on to procedural bylaws.
So first of all, thank you very much to the trustees around the table for their support. That was an interesting way to arrive in the position. However, based on conversations that we've had, I know that we're all here to do good work. I'm very pleased to have to be able to work with, sorry, I'm a little flustered, trustee Nordheim as vice chair, and certainly want to take this opportunity to extend my thanks. I know I say this on behalf of all trustees and do so without hesitation to both Chris Sigurdsson and to Ian Walker for the work that they've done over the last year as chair and vice chair respectively. They're not easy jobs, and it is there's always challenges that we know are coming and those that are unforeseen. And it takes strong leadership, especially when you have a board that sometimes doesn't always agree on the way things should proceed. So I look forward to a productive year, doing good work as good governors, and hold me accountable. That's what you need to do. The next item on the agenda is related to procedural bylaws. The motion before us is that the procedural bylaws of the LRSD Board of Trustees be accepted as presented. Turn a seconder, please. Trustee Turner, second. Trustee Walker. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor? It's not a voting screen.
Yeah, we'll switch that out.
Switch it, okay.
Yeah, so trustee Sigurdsson. Yes,
Just
trustee Sigurdsson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amanda?
And trustee,
Yes.
Okay, and the motion is carried, thank you. Signing officers, the motion then is that, whoops. Sorry, that the signing officers for the board be the chair or the vice chair of the board and the secretary or the superintendent. Mover and a seconder, please. Trustee Kolachek, trustee Semignola, thank you. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried, thank you.
That's why I left all of these for you to sign. Great.
Finally, there is a motion here related to the meetings, the regular board meetings, the dates and times, which is that the regular board meeting held on the first and third Tuesday of each month, commencing at 6:30, excluding winter and summer breaks. Mover and seconder. Trustee Turner and trustee Kolachek. Any discussion on this? All those in favor? Opposed? Oh, sorry. What?
But was there a meeting that was moved?
I don't think so. First and third Tuesdays?
January.
Oh, I thought that was, sorry, I thought that was a meeting that was moved.
Oh.
That doesn't quite match that schedule. I thought, acknowledge it now instead of like doing something else later.
Okay, so we're good. Okay, so we have in favor and we have.
Yep.
None opposed, and so that motion is carried. Thank you. That brings us to the end of this agenda, and this meeting is adjourned. Take a couple minutes to regroup and then come back for our first regular school year. What was the issue? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 2nd regular meeting of the Libertyville School Division Board of Trustees. We begin with the approval of the agenda for this evening. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Trustee Kolachek, second. Trustee Walker. All those in favor?
Sorry, just give me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do this by paper. Great.
Okay. So we're doing this by paper. All those in favor, raise your hand so that the Secretary Treasurer can, it's a unanimous vote.
I just need a mover in a second.
I'm sorry, I thought we had, no, Trustee Kolachek, Trustee Walker, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from June 17th. I'm not aware that there were any inaccuracies, unless you were, no? So those minutes are accepted as they've been distributed and will be logged accordingly. That takes us to news, starting with news from the Board of Trustees this evening, provided by Trustee Palmquist.
Thank you. I've got a few things I'd like to talk about. I didn't include a ton of photos in part, any photos in part because, which I will get into. But the first thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention was what I consider a huge triumph is the addition of a new pedestrian half signal at the corner of St. Anne's Road and Varennes, which was installed over the summer. This is in the world of traffic safety considered the best practice type of gold standard of pedestrian safety. Essentially, it is a traffic light that is activated by button for the sake of crossing. This is obviously at the location where only a few short years ago, there was a student fatality on the way to school. And I think that this, among a number of other locations that have been installed across the Libertyville School Division, across the city, upgrading traditional crosswalks to pedestrian half signals is an excellent step forward. And on behalf of myself, and I assume the board, I would like to extend gratitude to Councillor Brian Mays, in whose ward this took place. And noteworthy that a new crosswalk, traditional crosswalk, has been installed only a few blocks up on St. Anne's Road. And I would like to also talk about, so we just had summer, after our last board meeting, I had the pleasure of participating in a bike bus with my colleague Trustee Walker, organized Norwood West neighborhood, which began at his house and picked up a number of students and staff on their way to Henri Bergeron and Claude Provencher as concurrently. So it's an excellent program, and I am due to join in a similar program with LRSD educator Jennifer Engbrecht, who runs one in Ward 3. So thank you to everyone who's doing these grassroots initiatives, and look forward to continuing to promote and support them. And on a similar topic, over this summer, there was a news report. The CAA Manitoba released a survey that said that 90% of parents and guardians report unsafe driving behaviors in their school zones. And as a result, 62% of Manitoba parents consider their child's school zone to be unsafe. This is a damning statistic and speaks to the fact that, well, it's essentially almost common knowledge that our school streets and sidewalks in the areas in front of them are not considered safe. which means that students are coming to school every single day through a hazard and then leaving through a hazard. This is something that I believe can be improved and addressed. And lastly, I wanted to say, again, on behalf of myself, but I assume on behalf of the board, I wanted to note that this is the first board meeting where our colleague Corey Kapelak is seated at this table. Not his first time seated at the table, but the first time with assistant superintendent on the nameplate. And is, to my knowledge, to everyone I've asked knowledge, the first Indigenous person to be on the senior leadership team of Louisville School Division, which I think is a triumph and an excellent step forward. Our division makes a lot of effort to advance reconciliation, but reconciliation through representation only goes so far, and the actually having Indigenous people in decision-making positions with authority and power is the true next step towards that. And so I think that's an excellent step forward, and want to say congratulations, Corey. Thank you.
Trustee Palmquist. News from the senior leadership team today, and it's cut off. Who's providing news today? Sorry, folks, just hang on, because I know how to do this. By Assistant Superintendent Cadez.
Sure. It's my pleasure to bring news from the J.H. Bruns Collegiate and Collegian Sauvé Families and Schools. School is just starting today for the first time, but there are certain stories that we want to share of things upcoming and things that happened at last year. First is the Naqua Place 50th anniversary celebration. Naqua Place School and staff, in collaboration with the school PAC, are preparing for a special celebration on September 25th, hosting a barbecue commemorating the 50th anniversary of the school. And the event is part of the school's Truth and Reconciliation Week under the theme, "The Drums Are Calling You Home." The community is looking forward to this celebration, include lots of foods, Slurpees, music, lots of fun activities. And so we encourage everyone to participate on September 25th. Sage Creek School, you can see some pictures up there. Lots of work has taken place over the last few months to transform the former École Sage Creek School back into a Sage Creek School as it is today. The practical arts facilities were converted back to their original purpose. Common areas were reestablished and the temporary classrooms were taken down. The school community is very excited about these transformations and is looking forward to finally regaining access to all the beautiful and practical spaces in this truly amazing facility. So we're looking forward to my next visit to Sage Creek to see that in action, the students there. A celebration from a community standpoint here for the J.H. Bruns boys hockey team. The J.H. Bruns community would like to celebrate an example of strong community partnership. Since last spring, the Bruns parent, Mr. Jeff Cuson, has worked closely in collaboration with senior leadership, school administration, and other interested J.H. Bruns caregivers to support the continuation of the boys hockey program in a way that meets both school and community needs, as this program was in jeopardy by the end of the last year. The plan presented by Mr. Cuson was very comprehensive. He shared that with the school leadership and senior leadership, and included mentorship with respected hockey trainer Larry Wu, who is also going to be working with volunteer coaches from the community who have worked with Mr. Wu in the past. We want to thank Mr. Cuson and Mr. Wu for their dedication to this effort and to try and find a solution that was satisfactory to all stakeholders. The team will be co-managed by Mr. Cuson and Vice Principal Brad Johnston, who also brings extensive hockey experience to this. It's a great example of how schools and communities can work together to find unique solutions and create opportunities that enhance our students' experiences at school. So thank you to those members for being part of that and being persistent in collaboration. And finally, I have a great story from École George McDowell. In June, I had the pleasure of attending a ceremony hosted by the school for the Tabs for Wheelchairs program, where one of our students, Leila Jajatovic, was receiving a new motorized wheelchair from this program. Various local media were present, as well as guests from around the province for the ceremony. So approximately 20 million tabs were collected and brought to George McDowell. These were collected at the school and as well as schools and businesses across the province. This resulted in 360 sandbags size sacks of tabs, each holding 50,000 tabs. If you scroll to the next photo, you will see that's what it looks like. And all of which were in the gym for the ceremony. It was really quite a sight to see. The school was able to fill 27 bags of these just on their own in only a matter of weeks. They all really got very engaged in this great cause. And it really was led by Leila, and we are also proud of Leila and her inspiration in leading this project with the tremendous support of her student services teacher, Rachel Nizial. We know that this chair will really make a difference in her life and providing her with greater independence while engaging the entire community in a wonderful cause. This is again another example of how community coming together to accomplish great things for kids. So thank you to Leila and the George McDowell community.
Thank you very much. Lots of good news to start off the school year. Thanks again to you and also to Trustee Palmquist. Item 4 is related to board presentations for this new school year. There's a two-parter to this, so it's about the board having a bit of conversation on what presentations we might want to consider coming to us scheduled for over the next 10 months with an option to think about it and forward some ideas as they come to you. Is there anything on anybody's mind right now that they're thinking about? Mr. Walker, Trustee Walker, sorry.
I was going to suggest that we invite Michel Duran-Wood to speak to our board. He just finished publishing a book called You'll Pay for This. It's about municipal finance and city building, and I think that would help us understand some of the challenges that we're facing, how we're developing it at this time.
Anybody else? Cindy, or Trustee
Just to
Turner,
give
I'm sorry.
An update on how the GSAs are doing.
Mr. Kolachuk,
Can we get an update on the food nutrition program,
specific to,
specific to the positions that we've created and what it's doing in the schools?
so the overall impact is having?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Trustee Palmquist?
I'd like to invite CAA Manitoba to make a submission based on the research that they've conducted.
Okay. Anyone else? Trustee Simonella?
Once we have blast program running at some point, maybe on the later half of the year, it would be great to have the folks responsible for that program come and talk to us a little bit about how things are going, some of the lessons learned as well.
Okay.
That's probably be closer to budget time as well, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Paulo, which program?
Blast
Oh,
program.
Blast, thank you.
Else? All right, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe this one is a given, like I think I've always had it's always been great to showcase our student advisory team when they come out here and speak to us at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year. I know it all changes as school starts. We've done it so for the last 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
It's always great to see them come back to room and see this new group and what they're working on and experience.
Thank you. All right, as you think of things or perhaps are interested in hearing more about something that's going on in the division or something that is related to work we're doing or our governance roles, let me know. Or the vice chair, and we will try and schedule everything time permitting. Staff, sorry, just about to pass one here. Under finance and audit is the annual declaration of the secretary treasurer, and so I will turn that over to Secretary Treasurer Rudnicki to make that declaration.
Thank you very much. So this is addressed to the chair of the board. Pursuant to section 53, subsection 5 of the Public Schools Act, this letter will constitute my statement to the L'Oreal School Division Board of Trustees of all occupations in which I am engaged, which involve the receipt of money other than belonging to the school board or to myself. As a chartered professional accountant, I do have the option of maintaining a private office. I have not, however, sought or accepted any engagements during the last year, nor do I intend to do so. Consequently, I hereby state that my sole occupation is with the L'Oreal School Division. In accordance with section 53, subsection 5 of the Public Schools Act, I shall, during the balance of the school year, report to the board any such additional occupations or any discontinuances thereafter. Sincerely, Jane Rudnick.
So I can confirm then receipt of the letter that documents what Secretary Treasurer shared. We do have a motion before us that this declaration be accepted. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Trustee Kolachek, Trustee Walker. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Screen working.
Okay, we got the screen working. Anyone opposed? And that motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item number 6, staffing update. Turn that one to the, Assistant Superintendent Gunther, through the superintendent. Over to you.
We had a busy staffing season, so for teachers and clinicians, we had 313 postings, and of those, we completed 295 hires, with 11 positions still posted. Some postings were canceled due to placements, internal transfers. Among the teacher hires, 53 are experienced external candidates, 46 are new graduates, 2 are previous LRSD substitute teachers, 10 are retirees who are returning, and we are thankful for their support. The remaining were internal to LRSD, permanent term folks or solutions. 8 of the unfilled positions are French immersion related. However, these positions have been addressed in the short term, which I'll speak to in a little bit. For educational assistants, there have been 182 postings with 100 filled, 31 still yet to be filled. We had some late resignations, some medical leaves. However, at this time of the year last year, we had 29 open positions, so this is not unusual. We do have plenty of applicants and the interviews are ongoing. For clerical staff, we had 35 postings with 29 filled and 6 open. In addition to these postings, we facilitated over 60 teacher transfers, and in preparation for the school year, we processed over 1,000 staffing requests in NAV. So in terms of the substitute contracts, for teachers, we currently have 347. So last year at this time, we had 454, which is significant, and in 2023, we had 404. Of the 347 substitute teachers, we do have 73 are qualified to teach immersion. Our EAs, we currently have 201 substitute EAs. Last year we had 8. Year before that we had 241. So a bit of a reduction there, but not a significant teacher pool. So we do have a challenge to address. And on that note, we just posted for a term itinerant French substitute teacher in line with Collective Agreement Article 517E. Like many divisions across Canada, we are experiencing a shortage of qualified French teachers. We are actively working with both internal and external partners to address this immediate need, while also developing a longer-term plan to support French language programming across the division. In addition, we will also likely post an itinerant English substitute position to provide increased stability and coverage coming school year. So although we are experiencing some staffing challenges, we've taken steps to stabilize the immediate situation. We're actively working on developing a plan that will continue to support the learning environments that LRSD staff create for all of our students. And no, not at this time, that's okay.
Any questions coming out of that information? Trustee Simonyola?
I know during budget time, we had, we said we needed to add some of those positions. So are all these ads kind of putting us at par to what we had planned, or we are not even close? We're just kind of filling up attrition, I guess.
Yeah, no, the positions that we're trying to fill would be the ones that we had planned for. So we have taken some steps towards addressing some immediate needs. So we talked about collapsing of classrooms. We've increased some class sizes. We are putting extra support in there in a different way. So we're looking at some creative solutions to address that.
Okay, so that gap is still existing.
Yep.
Trustee Nordheim?
So I'm wondering, in the long term, in terms of what the board can do to support what we see as an ongoing shortage. There used to be an educational assistant weekend college that the universities used to run. And I've heard rumors that that's being talked about again. So I'm wondering if we might, if that's something that you would like for us to consider writing a letter of support, inquiry, something along that line, especially for educational assistants who might have a degree and we could expedite some of that. So that's my question is, how can the board support that staffing need?
Thank you for that, and I'll get back to you if there's something the board can do. Maureen and I met this afternoon with RSCC in terms of helping folks who have their education degree in outside of Canada, and how do we expedite the process for them to be able to support? Because I think we have a number of educational assistants that are already, like you just mentioned,
Right.
working towards that. So we were pleased to hear that there may be a process that would expedite that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So we'll keep you updated, but
we
this
can
is
do.
something we'll be meeting on.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that takes us to chair information from the board. The first item on the agenda is related to some professional development that trustee Nordheim and I took advantage of through our professional development allocation, and that was to attend the trustee gathering on Indigenous education and the Canadian School Boards Association Congress, which was held at the beginning of July this year. Scheduled to be in Winnipeg, moved at the last minute to a virtual event due to the forest fires and all of the folks that needed accommodation in the city. So that was a pivot. Part of our procedural bylaws is that we report on the use of our professional development expenses. So we will do that this evening, and why don't you start?
So firstly, I think I'd like to publicly acknowledge and thank MSBA for the shift to virtual within a couple of weeks. I think in terms of the right thing to do for our evacuees from the fires, it was exactly the right thing to do, but it was a huge amount of work and a significant change in what had been in planning for years. So I just want to acknowledge how much effort went into that and how much that was appreciated. I'm just going to speak to one of the keynotes, and that was from Clara Hughes. Her keynote title was Open Heart and Open Mind, and I guess it appealed to me because of the sporting background, and of course she's such a well-recognized athlete, and her switch from being an athlete to promoting mental health and wellness for everyone. I think there was a lot to be said. It was a very personal and open presentation. She was very specific in ideas that she had for what we could do as school divisions to support students and coaches. And I think personal transformation through sport was her message. I think it just is something that we have to keep in mind, how much education actually happens, not just in our gymnasiums during curricular time, but extracurricular time is a huge educational piece. And I think the more we can support our coaches and physical educators, we spoke earlier today about the football program and the other things that brings to young people. This is all of what Clara Hughes was promoting. And so open heart, open mind, when she speaks for Bell, MTS, mental health support, I think we need to sit up and listen, and let's make sure that we're watching our kids to make sure that they're getting the positives out of sport and that we are decreasing some of the challenges that I think occur just through the systems. So it was really worthwhile, really meaningful. The other keynotes, of course, were impressive to say the least. And again, I just want to thank MSBA for the amount of work that went into making this as positive as possible and doing the right thing at the same time.
So the other keynotes that Trustee Nordheim has alluded to were Dr. David Suzuki, who started things off on day one, really with a call to action to everyone, not just directed at school boards, but recognizing that we have a critical role to play in terms of supporting and assisting youth with understanding the climate catastrophe and perhaps what they can do to mitigate and educate at the same time. He pulled no punches and, you know, as only he could do, and he was quite captivating. It was truly unfortunate that we weren't able to listen to him in a big room, because I think there was a collective standing ovation for all the keynotes when they were done. Also Dr. Marty Ford, who spoke as an educator. Dr. Cindy Blackstock provided a keynote as well. Bill Fontaine, who's the former Grand Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, was also pretty insightful, and in his comments, as was Fred Penner, who shared mostly his music, which was great, and took all of us back, and it was really quite enjoyable. So the breakout sessions were related to a lot of the things that we're talking about: governance practices, leadership in divisive times, high functioning school boards, and also the things that we have in our work, which is you know, students and staff wellness and success, healthy communities. Talking about the food and nutrition program was also included, and even some that had interactive sessions. So even though we weren't in the same room, which is a huge part of these conferences, there was an opportunity to engage in some of these sessions with trustees in other parts of the country. So that was kind of, that was actually really neat. I do want to acknowledge and this board for continuing to value professional development each year in its budget. It is more and more with pressure on financial resources. Boards are choosing to eliminate or drastically reduce trustee professional development as a first start. And I think that does boards and the folks that elect them and the communities that they serve a great disservice. So my thanks to this group for continuing to value and celebrate the opportunity to do professional learning and the networking that goes along with it. We would be happy to answer any questions. I think everybody had the agenda or the program that went out, but and if something comes to you later on, certainly happy to reflect back if anybody wants us to. The second item on share information to the board, I will admit to be not quite sure what this one is related to, which is the City of Winnipeg Transit reconfiguration. So perhaps the superintendent or class chair can assist on what this agenda item was going to contain. Yeah.
This is Superintendent Anderson can give us information on that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yes, certainly. The school division sent a message to families on Friday, reminding them about this significant restructuring that Winnipeg Transit undertook to its network on June 29th. So the entire system has been reconfigured, and as part of that reconfiguration, Winnipeg Transit no longer offers school charters that many of our students used in past years. The purpose of the communication was to encourage families to begin transit planning using tools on the Winnipeg Transit site that have recently become available as the fall schedule entered into effect this past weekend and was published the week prior.
Trustees, any discussion on this or questions that you have for the Assistant Superintendent? Trustee Kolachuk.
With the change in the bus schedule, hopefully parents have looked at it before Thursday morning. If, like, we know that there's gonna be issues with the bus schedule, what's the best course of action for communication? Because we know as trustees, we're gonna be getting questions. So how should we be working with parents in order to support them during the next few difficult days of their kids missing a bus or not finding the right bus?
Yes, certainly. Even families that do engage in the advanced planning may be disappointed because the bus that arrives at the stop may already be full and not be admitting new passengers. What we are concerned about divisionally is a lack of capacity on several routes that Winnipeg Transit operates. Our preliminary examinations of the schedules lead us to believe that there's going to be people left waiting for buses. And certainly we are planning another communication to go to families tomorrow. And this communication will be sharing with them alternative strategies and including encouraging active transportation between home and school. And to be clear, this is strictly for families who have relied on Winnipeg Transit. This does not affect the school bus service that Louis Riel and First Student operate for students. In the longer term, the school division is looking to identify where the greatest need for additional service exists and to bolstering service by operating paid seat service by the school division.
Any other questions? See no time?
Is the preference for parents to provide information to, like, how are we funneling our information to you so that you can communicate accurately to transit? Like through the schools, the trustees, how would you like that to happen?
That will be included in the communication that's being sent tomorrow. So I think that referring parents to that communication would be the most helpful route. And certainly we do look to gather information to share with Winnipeg Transit with the hope of them being able to address some of these shortfalls themselves.
Trustee Seminyola.
From the information that has been gathered so far, have you identified any areas within our quadrant here within our division that's significantly impacted by these changes?
We have noticed some areas. There are bound to be others that we have not yet identified. Areas of particular concern are between Bonne Vista and Island Lakes, traveling to J.H. Bruns Collegiate and Collège Béliveau. Another area of concern is within Sage Creek. Families with children attending the new French Immersion Elementary School located at the south end of the neighborhood would not have adequate transit option to return home after school. There are other areas where routing reconfigurations mean that families that previously had a direct service from their home to the school may now see that transfer is required along the way. Back in the spring already, the school division identified some areas where 2 or more transfers would be necessary. And we have added capacity in the system and offered paid seats to families that would be so affected. Interestingly, there wasn't a significant uptake on that initial offer of service, likely because families hadn't become fully acquainted with the changes to Winnipeg Transit at that time. So that invitation will be re-extended.
No one else? I suspect this is going to be a topic of conversation for a little while, so we'll support our families and students the best we can. Sure. All right, we've got a number of things under information coming from the senior leadership team. So the first one is the by-election. So through the superintendent to our assistant secretary treasurer. Oh, I'm so sorry. Our secretary treasurer for an update on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd just like to bring attention to the public that we are holding a by-election on October 25th, 2025. That's a Saturday. I just want to draw your attention to all the information that is on the City of Winnipeg website regarding eligibility, nomination process, and filing nomination papers. So all that information is on there. Just some high-level process is that for nomination papers, you can obtain those either through the city clerk's department downtown on 510 Main Street between 8:30 and 4:30, Monday through Friday. It is also available online, electronic, as well as if you want to pick up a physical copy, we do provide them at our board office at 900 St. Mary's Road. And details of what's required in the nomination papers is on the website. In addition, the filing of the nomination papers is to be done in person with the senior election official between Saturday, September 13th and Friday, September 19th at 4:30 p.m. That's the cutoff time. And so anyone looking to file those nomination papers need to file those during that time period. That's what I wanted to provide for an update.
Thank you. Any questions of clarification? Okay, back to you for a swimming program update.
Yeah, so I'd like to give an update to the public regarding our swimming program. And so as our public is aware that in last year's budget, we approved an allocation to implement a pilot swim program for grade 3 and 4 student division. Over the summer, over the spring and summer, the division has been working with Community Services Department at the City of Winnipeg to develop this program. So the program, which is called Swimming Counts, is going to be a 4-classroom session. The first session is a classroom dry land session, which will be held at the school, and then there'll be 3 pool sessions. The classroom portion of the program will teach students water safety, and the remaining 3 pool sessions will be done in the pool, and they will be used to teach our children swim skilled focused skills. That's what they're telling us. So there are 6 schools that will be piloting the program for this upcoming year. We have Lavely, Provencher, Victor Major, Glenwood, Victor Wyatt, and St. George schools. And so I just wanted to bring that to the board and public's attention.
Thank you. Any questions? Trustee Palmquist.
Just wanted to make a quick remark and say thank you to everyone who was involved in putting this together and their hard work in scheduling it. I can imagine with the closure of Bonnie Hotel and the Rady Center this year that it was logistically, the last 2 years, that it was logistically challenging to find the suitable pool space. And so to everyone who helped make that happen, thank you. I really look forward to seeing this continue and I hope expand into the future, certainly depending on the outcome of the pilot, but going forward. I also wanted to quickly ask what communications are planned with the affected parents at those particular schools.
Yeah, so right now we sent out a MailChimp to all our school staff of the 6 schools that have been chosen. And from there, the schools will disseminate the information to the parents as to the program. I can tell you the dates of the program. I actually forgot to tell you.
That's great.
So the dates of the program, depending on which school, they're essentially happening in the fall. So they're happening in between October 7th to November 25th. So they're scheduled in various groups. So there are 6 schools, but 16 groups of students that based on the population and the number of students that have been placed. So 18 groups.
Sorry, 16 or 18?
18.
Oh.
Trustee Sigurdson.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say how proud I am that we have this program and we're able to get it into our budget last year. And looking at hearing the list of the schools, it's sorely needed for those families. It's going to be great benefits, and especially our newcomer families. It's going to save some lives and really help out people. Sometimes you make decisions at the board that are difficult, but I'm glad we made this one, and I thank Trustee Palmquist for his dogged determination in bringing this to our attention and getting it over the line. So
Likewise, thank you for your invaluable help in achieving that.
So just to add on that, we were limited in the number of schools that we could pilot the program this year because of not only the space limitations that the city of Winnipeg has, but also the staffing challenges that the city of Winnipeg were having. So we worked our best to get as many schools in the first year as possible, and if and when there's more capacity, if there's more capacity during this school year, we'll see if there's the ability to expand it this year.
Question, go ahead.
Yes, one more follow-up question. Just with respect to the timeline, I'm happy to hear October and November. It may be premature to ask this, but would we, as a board, expect a report in advance of the following upcoming 2026 budget that for consideration of continuation, and hopefully what I intend to push for is continued investment?
Yep, the way that the dates fall, we can make a report for that before the next budget consideration.
Thank you. That's great.
Trustee Nordheim.
I'm assuming that whoever is overseeing this has some kind of evaluation criteria, both for parents, students, and staff, that could come back to follow up for Trustee Palmquist's request in terms of information. It'd be nice to have the criteria kind of shared with us ahead of time as to what we're looking at in terms of success and changes that might need to be made in order to reach more kids if possible. So I would love to see the evaluation prior to the start of the programs, if that's possible.
Yep, we can arrange for that.
Any other questions on this item? All right, thank you. Good discussion, everyone. Item 3, some changes at the ministry. Turn that one to the superintendent.
Big changes reported in the media. Changes not only in the Department of Education, in the senior civil service. And so we are wishing Brian O'Leary, who most of it for a large part of his career was superintendent in the Sept School Division, and was the last 2 years deputy minister in the education department. He's doing well in retirement, and we have Mona Pandy coming back to the Department of Education. She served for a time as deputy minister for the System Performance and Accountability Division of the department. I'll be serving as deputy minister. I look forward to welcoming her in our schools, visit, get to know us, spend some time with the senior leadership team and the board. Wish her well.
Yeah, that's nice to have her back in that group. Any questions on this one? All right, that takes us to capital project updates.
Had lots of important capital projects coming to fruition this summer. I'll have my colleague share some highlights. Starting with Assistant Superintendent Anderson.
Yes, I'm very pleased to report that construction of the new French immersion school serving Sage Creek and Bonne Vista has been completed on time. Occupancy permits were obtained in mid-July, allowing staff to get classes and other spaces in the building set up for opening. Many thanks to the project managers at Bird Construction and Number One Architectural Group for pulling out all the stops to get this project done. And thanks also to divisional staff in facilities, purchasing, information systems, library services, staff services. Opening a new school is an all hands on deck endeavor, and the divisional team has really gone all out. And thank you as well to Principal Cam Johnson and his team. I know that there is a lot of excitement as families are now coming to the school and getting to check this space out, and looking forward to learning in the new facility. And I would mention that we are intending there to be an open house, an opportunity for others in the community to see the building later this fall. Details coming.
Thank you.
Moving on. I thought they just hand off to each other.
Okay.
Moving on,
Hand it off to each other.
I'll have Assistant Superintendent Adez share some highlights.
So I shared a little bit about the version of Sage Creek School back to its original state. We saw pictures in the SLT news that I presented earlier. Work was ongoing throughout the summer and re-equipping the school to now meet the needs of a kindergarten and grade 8 population as opposed to a younger population previous to that. And the school is very excited to reopen those spaces to their students when they come back. For Island Lakes, we are talking about 2 portables that are moving from Van Bellingham to fill out the complement of 6 portables at Island Lakes. So update on that situation is the following. The approval of conditional use application on July 29th. The development permit was applied for on August 1st, and that is now under review. The tender was posted on July 24th, and the closing date was on August 12th. The division has issued an authorization letter to the successful bidder and directed to prepare building permit application and site mobilization. Startup meeting has not yet been scheduled, but that will, once that is completed, then we will have a full project schedule. The expected construction time is around 14 weeks or so, we figure. For Shamrock School, there was the building envelope was approved in provincial budget to be replaced. And so the division is authorized to proceed with construction for a request for proposal on August 7th, 2025. The consultant team prepared the technical drawing set and specifications after receiving this letter. The RFP was posted on August 20th, and the closing date is September 16th. The bids will be reviewed, and recommendation for awarding a contract to the bidder will be submitted to the province within a week. And we'll need to wait for the project support letter from the province before issuing a letter to the successful bidder and establishing a construction schedule.
And finally, we have Secretary Treasurer Rudnicki who will share about a land acquired over the summer.
Actually, just before I touch base on the purchase of the land, I just want to say that Superintendent Michalek and myself had the pleasure of going to both Sage Creek schools today and seeing a building in a construction phase, and then seeing it with families, with students, with staff, the vibrancy of it all, it just took on another level. And so I just really wanted to congratulate everyone involved in who helped make this school a possibility, because just the smiles on the children's faces when they're walking in. And I had the pleasure of talking to a grade 4 student who was very excited about the new school. And so it's something to behold. And so congratulations to everyone. The purchase of 3280 St. Mary's Road. So I just wanted to inform the public that the school division has purchased the land, and we received title of the land on September 1st. So yesterday, we officially got title of the land. The next phase in the process is essentially the design phase of the space, and so that involves initially developing a site plan. And once we've developed this site plan, it's going to be part of our rezoning application and approval submission to the City of Winnipeg. Through the rezoning application process, community will be invited to comment on the plan that will inform any additional changes. Use of the land will be contingent on the city of Winnipeg approving our rezoning application. And we are expecting completion of that process to end in the spring of 2026. And then once we get approval for rezoning, then the next phase will be construction of the site. And so the vision of having a land-based learning site, a transportation and maintenance site, that phase will start hopefully in the spring, and we're anticipating that it'll take 16 to 18 months. And so our end goal is to be operational on the land September 2027.
Thank you. Trustees, any questions on any of those 5 project updates? Trustee Seminola?
I have a question on 2 of them. As it relates to Sage Creek Buena Vista, obviously when there's a new construction, sometimes everything is finished and everything is good. Do we expect to have any work that needs to be done either inside or outside as the school opens, or is everything fully complete?
So there is still going to be a little bit of landscaping, but everything on the inside is complete.
As far as Island Lakes is concerned, I know last year we were talking about 6 modular classrooms, and 2 of them we secured. So when we're talking about this contract, is this for additional, or is this just?
This will bring us to 6 modular classrooms.
So this is for the 4, not for the.
This is 5 and 6 that we're
Yeah,
installing.
we have 4 and now we're
We have
going to
4.
add 2 more. 6 in total.
Oh, it was, yeah, sorry, it's the other way around. Thank you.
Any other questions? Trustee Walker?
With the addition of the modular classrooms, is that gonna free up some space inside the school for some of the activities like the library space, I think, has been occupied by a classroom?
We'd have to review that once the spaces are all built in. It's functional at the moment, but some flexible space, classroom space in particular would be helpful.
And the library space is working.
Other questions? All right, seeing none, that takes us to an update on our BLAST program.
I can bring that, although many are working on this new program. So BLAST, the acronym first, stands for Before School, Lunch, and After School Time. And if we chose this acronym, it's that, and we've included the word lunch, it's that schools for a long, long time now, for as long as I've been a teacher, that would be going back to 1989, have been looking after kids over lunch. And what we are suggesting as a school system in 2025 is we can look after kids before and after school, just like we do during lunch. And so, as you know, we've been surveying families for some time now, and back in the spring, we surveyed again and heard back from 3,000 from families that have the responsibility for 3,000 students in our schools, and learned that 1,200 students needed before and after school programming. And so it confirmed for us once again, because we've surveyed in the past and heard back with similar results, that there is this need. And so in 5 schools, this was already a program in place, but run by the school principal, run locally. In Archwood School, École Sage Creek Buena Vista, our dual track school, École Van Bellingham, Niagara Place School, and Sage Creek School, in 2024-25, we were running a local BLAST program, if you will. And we've been running programs in previous years in other schools. École George McDowell, Darwin School. It ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows because it's really challenging for a school to run a program alone. So the theory is that by doing this centrally, we are going to be able to, by December of 2027, this is our target date, when your multi-year strategic plan comes to an end, have it available in all our schools. That's the goal, the target we're setting for ourselves, goal we're setting. So in order to achieve that, once we have things well established in these 5 schools over the next few months, we're not going to wait, we're not going to sit on our laurels, we're going to start expanding beyond the 5 schools. And we're just going to continue expanding until we reach all schools. I'm so impressed by the work that's occurred over the summer. We have a full team of folks ready to serve students in these 5 schools starting tomorrow, starting this week. And it will be an 8-to-1 ratio in these schools, 8 students for 1 adult. So I'm just, again, so impressed by the staffing we've recruited over the summer. We even have a supply list of staff ready to support. It's been a challenge, it's been a challenge for these 5 schools. Working in isolation, often not having the staff on hand in the morning or in the afternoon. And now having taken this on centrally, being able to coordinate between schools and this amazing staff recruitment effort over the summer that now continues through the fall, winter, spring, and until we've achieved our goal. I'm going to have lots of exciting news to share in the next months and years.
Any questions on this item?
Is it gonna be a running startup, or is there a target of where you wish to be by the end of this school year? With how many schools get started up, or is it just?
I'm not able to give you a target for the end of this school year. My desire is that once things are well established over the fall, I'm hoping, coming into winter, I'll be better able to give you a target for this school year in terms of expansion. And based on all that experience and knowledge, targets for the following year.
Any other questions?
Average cost for a family?
15. So $15 is what we're charging. We want to get to $10. We keep reaching out to government to see if they will help flow some of those federal dollars to us. In the interim, I've had conversations with foundations that are interested in the work we're doing, big foundations interested in the work we're doing, willing to entertain the notion of offering us some significant seed money so that we can demonstrate to government how what we're proposing here is the solution, a part of the solution of finally solving the childcare crisis in that.
And last question, and I realize that this is something the staff will be looking after, but having a principal get stuck in a school with kids not being picked up is a concern to not add that to their workload. So I'm just hoping that the staffing with the substitutes that are provided will eliminate that issue for the administrators in those 5 buildings.
Yeah, so I met with the school administrators last week. I mean, they're overwhelmed with joy at how much we've taken off their plates already. And they see that we're also bringing a formality to the structure, communications team to the effort. So lots of work, handbooks for parents, the staff. starting starting early enough in the morning to there. Staff will be getting to schools before the custodian and staying there till pickup, but also clear expectations for parents and also ongoing training for staff.
Well, starting out with overwhelmed with joy.
Yeah, I don't think it's an exaggeration.
Well, that's pretty
Assistant
nice.
Superintendent Anderson was there, and I really don't think I'm embellishing it. And I heard from one of the principals on my visit at Sage Creek School. It's just, again, so grateful.
Excellent, thank you. Any other questions, comments on this one? All right. Overwhelmed with joy. That's awesome. Item 8.6, senior leadership startup meeting last week, 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Yes, so 2 weeks, Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays ago, some of us on senior leadership, 12 of us on senior leadership met to start planning, to continue planning for the year. In planning the day, I wanted it to be, as has been the case for all the senior leadership team meetings over the years, that I've been responsible to facilitate. It is about envisioning the day for all of our school principals and vice principals the following week. So essentially, we took time to be inspired by some reading, a piece of writing. We read Sam Katz's one of his many articles entitled "Mirrors Before Windows." So it set the stage for what Sam Katz talks about being leadership at its best, confident humility, and the importance of introspection, self-reflection, when looking at the mirror, polishing the mirror before looking out the window and trying to solve problems and help people in need. We celebrated accomplishments from last year. And then we shared our big list for the year, the initiatives, the projects we are going to, each of us as a team. We are a very ambitious bunch. We have lots of plans, lots of goals every year. So it was a long list of stuff we were hoping to accomplish. And so it was making sense of all of that in just a day. And in the past, it would have taken some time, a few meetings for us to gather the insights from this long list of goals we've set for ourselves between now and June. But we live in a world where artificial intelligence is fast developing. And so we applied some artificial intelligence to all those thoughts, all of that thinking. And it really helped us find our way through it quickly in the afternoon to really gain some insight into what we're proposing. And it's going to help the next conversations to ensure that we stick to what we're committing to do to make a better world in schools and LRSD this year. And it served, that Tuesday together also showed us this could work for us, bringing in all of our school principals and vice principals and divisional managers together the following Tuesday. And so, I actually have a video for you I'm on to 8.7. I have a video. I've shared it in the parent post, so it's out there. I've shared it with families. I've shared it with staff. You've seen it because it was in the learning circle and it's in the parent post. So it's a video actually that captures last Tuesday with principals and vice principals. So here we are leveraging AI again to look at lots and lots of data that was collected on Tuesday of last week, asking all of our principals and vice principals to tell us what is a priority for them, what are the priorities for each of them, and what will be the focus of their project-based learning this coming school year. So we'll see if the volume works. Yeah, Notebook LM. So we leveraged this AI, some of you may be using, may be familiar with. This video creation tool wasn't available until just recently and is again fast developing, fast moving. It's so impressive. I think you're getting a lot more out of this video I am than had I shared 100 rows of information, 12 columns of information in a spreadsheet.
Questions on either the content or the method by which seen that, Pam? Sorry, Trustee Kolachek.
It's okay. I mean, this is a really cool tool. I've used it before. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, you know, very prominent in almost anything you do with it, just so you know. But what is our policy on AI and what information we're putting into Notebook? Because once we put it into Notebook, it's out there, right? So how are we controlling or ensuring that information that's put in there is really meant for the world to see and not just LRSD, SLT?
Yes, great question, Pam. So we are developing guidelines for artificial intelligence. We will be bringing the board guidelines this fall. Because it's so fast developing, we are proposing guidelines rather than policy. I think we need to really be nimble as a governance structure and as a leadership team and supporting staff. We believe, the team believes this. So we've been working on guidelines. We'll be bringing a draft to the board this fall. And as you've already touched on, it's about first and foremost an ethical approach to it all, the ethics of care that have to go into leveraging AI especially in the context of a public school system. We have to be thinking of privacy and the children we serve, the information we are sharing with an AI. It's also about the AIs being under an enterprise solution so that we're mindful of privacy and able to protect that privacy. So privacy, of course, is key. Keeping the AI humble, skepticism, a healthy skepticism when looking to AI for insights and inspiration, also very important. And then I think it is about an excitement and bringing one's creativity to how one can leverage the AI in ways that can really have us work more efficiently and help nurture that culture that we want, that culture that emphasizes a growth mindset, that emphasizes, of course, the building and nurturing of trust and collaboration. If we claim to be a culture that has a growth mindset at its heart, with equity as its lens. Yeah, it's all of these things. And so hopefully you'll see all of that expressed in the guidelines forward to.
Does that answer your question?
Clarify though, so this was a pro version, so it's enterprise ready, so the data is, so Google LLM is obviously publicly available.
Yep.
This was not this. This was an enterprise product, so our data stays inside. The division pays for a few licenses for special purposes like that.
Okay, good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the data on that day really wasn't privileged data. Even had it been, even if that spreadsheet had been made public, we'd be okay sharing.
Trustee Simonello?
I guess what I couldn't get 100% in the video was there any when you look at our strategic plan and we have the 4 quadrants, was there any quadrants or predominantly came up as part of the startup conversation and on the focus from principal to principal?
Yeah.
Recall? I think it's, I don't know, I just want to understand how.
Right, so what I
that
could,
would link to.
yeah, so another AI we used on that day, last week with all our principals and vice principals is Copilot, is Microsoft's version of ChatGPT. And so it was actually used in the afternoon live with everyone in the room. So I could have chosen to go there this evening to show you the conversation we were having collectively with the AI, where we asked it just that question that you're asking, which is how are all of these ideas, all of these important initiatives this year connected to our multi-year strategic plan? Which strategic actions? Let's do a gap analysis. Are there any missing? So I have a long chat that I could have shared this evening as well. Not as exciting as a video, but so here again, the incredible potential AI presents in terms of incredible time saver, in terms of getting to some answers. But at the end of the day, none of it will matter if it doesn't translate in all of us doing the hard work of making it happen.
So I'm trying to picture the information being shared at the leadership meeting, going into AI. Were principals or administration teams able to pull their particular plan out and then take that back to work on it?
Well, that's where we're going next.
Okay.
So right, this is all
you.
of these wonderful initiatives are essentially the work they're saying is their project-based learning through the future.
Okay. But
We're
they
also
could have
going-
used that stuff today in their staff meetings, for example.
Yeah, and so we're wanting them to also learn to use these tools in their learning, and bring them to their staff, and have all of that ultimately inform how teachers are, we know already leveraging AI, but doing it again in ways that are mindful of the culture we are nurturing in LRSD, mindful of our mission and vision statements, mindful of our multi-strategic plan and our obligations.
What that video did for me was kind of give me a sense of calm about our concerns about the volume in the multi-year strategic plan. That kind of has started to
I'm glad to hear
narrow it down. So for me, that was one of the things that we talked about, and that's obvious in that video, so
And one of the things I promised I'd bring back.
Yeah.
Great.
Anything else, folks? All right, did we combine 8.6 and 8.7?
That's right.
Okay, so that takes us to 8.8, City of Winnipeg Transit. Did we cover this one in? Okay. And 8.9, summer learning through the superintendent to assistant superintendent Kaplan.
Thank you, Chair. We had 3 exciting programs happening throughout the summer. And I'm going to start with the one for our youngest learners, Aspire programming, which stands for Academic Summer Program, including Recreation and Education, is an equity-based program designed to help students continue to grow as learners throughout the summers. Aspire makes learning fun by offering participants a day camp experience from various educational games and hands-on learning. A high-energy team of instructors consisting of students in the Faculty of Education, lead participants, and activities designed to build skills in math, reading, writing, problem solving, and social experiences. This year, we had Aspire programming happening for grade 1 to 6 students at 5 sites, 3 English, 2 French immersion schools. 377 children participated from 19 different schools. And I would just like to thank Allison Drummond, who is our school and family connector based out of Renee DeLorme Center, for her leadership in that programming. Next, we have our middle years group. And so special interest middle years camps provide a diverse range of engaging and educational activities tailored towards middle year students. Each week, students choose from various thematic groups, camps that sparked curiosity and creativity. For this group of students, our middle year students, 146 students attended. Some students participated in more than one session or more than 1 week-long camp experience. The total number of camp registrations was 292. Most popular camp this year was BAM, Let's Cook, followed by Art Extravaganza, and they also saw high numbers in CSI, sports, drama, and esports. And thank you to Principal Justin Bell for his leadership in this area. And lastly is our summer school students. Summer school offers a focused and flexible learning environment where students benefit from smaller class sizes and personalized instruction designed to help improve grades, meet prerequisites, or accelerate academic progress. Courses are condensed for efficient learning without sacrificing quality. This year, in summer school, there was 112 students who attended summer school. 12 were taking more than one course. So there's 124 course registrations in summer school. 103 students were looking to upgrade marks. 21 students were looking to for courses to accelerate their learning. And out of those, 66% were LSD students, 34% were outside division students. And I would like to thank Dion Potapinski, principal of Glenlawn, for her leadership in this.
Any questions on this item? Trustee Nordhook?
I had a couple of parent phone calls asking about a change in the assessment that was done at summer school this year. So I'm just wondering, did we get permission, or was that necessary from the province to change up the way assessment was done through these courses? Like when you say kids were upgrading their marks, are we talking they didn't get the credit and they were failing and now they're trying to pass? Or are they just trying to get a higher mark for?
I think generally, and I could follow up with you at another meeting, but generally it would be students who were not successful in the course and attempting to upgrade that mark to a pass.
But the assessment was done like an outcomes-based assessment,
Correct.
Which is different than has been done in the past.
Yeah, and being new to this portfolio, I am meeting with Dion this week, and we are kind of going through things, so I would be able to provide you
That'd be
more
great if you
information
could, because I did have a few questions because some kids didn't have to attend for the amount of time that they thought they had to attend, and there were a variety of different things that are different this year than in the past. I just want to make sure that we're following provincial guidelines.
I will provide it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that takes us to June 2024 high school graduation rates.
The province released graduation rates for 2024. So I just thought it important to draw your attention to this. And so if we look at the 4-year high school graduation rate tonight, we'll just stay in that 4-year timeline. We can see provincial results here, and we see them broken down by gender, female, male, Indigenous and non-Indigenous. And what is striking, of course, is the inequity that we see. The crisis that we see. We can see that we can see some trends for school divisions. If we click on trends, we can take a look at LRSD. If we take a look at the drop-down menu and look for LRSD, so Selker. Thanks, Jimmy. And if you look at the graduation the graduation rate for 2024, for June of 2024, so it's a year behind. We can see where our four-year graduation rate is relative to the provincial average. And we could compare ourselves to other school divisions if we wanted to, but it's not so much about contrasting ourselves to others as it is seeing how we're doing over time. Now, I wish I could have access to that breakdown for LRSD from the province. I keep asking. I'd like to know how our students who identify as Indigenous are doing, how students identifying as boys and identifying as girls are doing, and more. I'm not able to get that information. I'll keep asking. There was a time when we did have it. We did receive it. But for some time now, we're not able to break it down. We could come up with our own graduation rate as a school division, but our number would be different from the province because we would be using a different model, a local model. The province is applying a provincial model to this to this number that we can't replicate locally because we don't have access to a province-wide database. Anyways, felt it important that you know that this is the latest update to the provincial data dashboard.
Any questions on this one?
And I encourage you as trustees to keep checking the province's own data hub.
And finally, last item in this section is the accessibility plan update. So through the superintendent to
Myself.
Oh, to you.
For this year, I'll be bringing the accessibility updates. I had two conversations with Monica Bonzor this summer. She's the Senior Compliance Officer working in the Manitoba Government's Accessibility Compliance Secretariat. And we are being chosen as the school division that they will work with this year to develop accessible employment policy. And that will be in compliance with Manitoba's accessible employment standard regulation. So wanted to bring that to your attention this evening as the accessibility update. And you can expect to see a first draft of that policy this fall.
Any questions regarding these updates? Get regularly? Right, that takes us to policy. First item is use of service animals through Superintendent to Superintendent Anderson. Assistant Superintendent Anderson.
Thank you. So administrative protocols supporting two policies were updated over the summer to ensure compliance with provincial accessibility requirements. They are use of service animals by the general public in support of policy ACE and service and non-service animals in schools supporting policy IMG. The updated protocols were posted on the website over the summer and are being brought to you for information this evening. Communication to staff will occur via upcoming editions of the and Learning Circle.
Thank you. Questions on either of these updates? Heads, Trustee Semenyola?
My question is not specific to the changes in the language. It's just that I guess as well, we're talking through service animal or non-service animals being in school. My thought was more around like I went and checked out the 313 around emergency drills. We have mentioned people and the environment, but we haven't really mentioned service animals. Are we going to add something in case of an emergency in there, or like what happens? How do we connect the two policies, because one of them hasn't highlighted. Like service animals or animals could be in school when drills happen or when an emergency happens. How do we make sure that that's addressed via policy?
We can certainly have a look at policy EB CA that deals with emergency preparedness in schools. Schools each year update their emergency plan, and for schools that have service animals or non-service animals working in the building, they would be expected to be included in the school-based plan. But there may be something that needs to be done individually in terms of template planning for that. So we'll have a look at that.
It really is very impressive each time you can rattle off those 4 letters. It really is.
Any other questions on this item? All right, we've got an amendment then to consider.
So,
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry, just one more question.
Sure.
I know this dealt with animals you have to have approval for whether it's service animal or non-service animal. But is there anything that could be said in case somebody realizes when it comes to them that there is an animal on the premise that doesn't have approval? Like, what's a reporting structure like that? Does that take us back to, because I looked at the other policy, the whistleblower policy doesn't address something like this. It's like completely different. It supports the diversity policy. Like, is there any?
So your question essentially is, how would an animal on school property or in the school building without approval be addressed?
Correct. Like, how is a student or a teacher or a parent realizes that this animal has entered the school without approval? I didn't see whether, I would like to see somewhere where the policy points to what happens then as a guideline. I know there's a principal guideline in here and there's parental and guardian guideline, but I'd like to see something like that just to avoid something like that from happening, or having a protocol to make sure that that's addressed. That does happen.
Policy IMG does speak to the need to have approval for animals in schools. Where, and in my experience as a school principal, where an animal comes to school that isn't approved, that's one of the situations where a staff member would alert the office of the principal or vice principal, would deal with that situation, speak with the parent or community member that had brought the animal into school or onto the school property and ask them to remove it. I don't know that that's explicitly stated, but we can have it.
Any other questions? All right, then that takes us to 9.2, ratification of amendment regarding policy IHC.
Thank you. Policy IHC is our off-school site education policy. That is commonly referred to as a field trip policy. So we're presenting it this evening for your consideration. The proposed changes ensure that the policy facilitates off-site learning opportunities for students with exceptional needs while ensuring strong communication with families. Communication to staff will occur in upcoming editions of the leadership lineup and learning circle, pending for approval of the changes this evening.
Okay. So the recommendation then is that policy IHC, extended instructional programs and activities off school site education, be amended. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Trustee Semenyola, Trustee Walker. Attached is the current policy with the changes suggested in red. Discussion on the motion. Trustee Palmquist.
So what is I understand there's a number of exceptions here under section C, section I, exceptions A, B, C. Just wondering what is the rationale for changing an open-ended language like this about provide consent into a more specific language saying written?
Because what was happening, there was confusion in schools previously about what needed to occur for what type of programming. So wanting to ensure that expectations are clearly laid out, and these changes were initiated through conversation with IP teachers in high schools who organize sometimes daily off-school site opportunities for students in their program. And policy did not, the way policy was written previously, either schools were working outside of policy in order to make things happen, or they would need to limit opportunities because the paperwork associated with it would be cumbersome. The important part for these students who are gaining very valuable work experience in the community is access to the community, and that is documented formally in their student specific plan. Meetings occur with parents about that, and the goal is that overall consent to engage in the program and participate in opportunities outside the school granted by parents with advance notice only, not permission form to be assigned every time a trip is coming up.
Second question, this isn't something I brought up before, but just while we're talking about this, would this policy permit in the future discussion of new tools or inclusion of new tools when it comes to permission slip? I say this as a parent, I'm a hot mess, my kids are a hot mess. It's a mess in my house, and anything which would make communication with the school that is non-routine to be more electronic, like pressing yes to a button on an email, or like responding to a text message, or those types of tools, or just generally like making them more likely to get my attention or more likely to get my kids' attention. Does these policies or other policies make room for that? If
certainly this one does, and it goes into more detail if you would see on page 4 that bullet B, it talks about you forgot to send the permission form for your kid to go to the St. Patel Public Library for the class trip they're going to check out the new book collection. Yeah. Now, because that is a single day field trip, it doesn't involve a high risk activity, the school can obtain verbal consent from you. And just write down verbal consent, time and date, document that, and the fact that you didn't get the permission slip in won't be a problem and prevent your child from participating in the event. Of course, we need to balance this against the liability that the school division faces. So that's why it doesn't apply for high risk activities. We need a parental signature before kids go downhill skiing or go to an event, say Camp Red Rock, which is a popular venue for our schools that has wall climbing and mountain biking, other activities that we need actual sign off on. So,
or swimming, for instance.
Swimming, absolutely, and certainly we will be getting those forms out to the 6 pilot schools in the next week or 2.
I have trustee Walker and then trustee Nordheim.
I just wanna add this will not only help with this hot mess over here. Communicate with school, but it'll also make life a lot easier for teachers. Who take some trips. Sometimes 5 notes home. So permission on the phone is really helpful.
Yeah, and I would like to add that the school division is interested in exploring electronic admission options. But in order for them to be valid consent, it has to be through an actual account, a parent password protected account.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we were just using a Microsoft form, for example, you give permission to your child to attend, put your name, we wouldn't know if the parent was filling it out or if the child was filling it out. And if there were to be injury and the parent was unaware of the trip and did not actually consent, the division would suffer liability, and our insurers would not be pleased with us. So we work closely with them to ensure that things are in alignment. We had begun a process to do this in our old student information system, Tyler SIS, that of course went by the wayside. We've transitioned now to a new platform, and last year we were focused on the basic implementation of basic features of Power School before looking at bells and whistles like permission slips. So that is an area that we are actively exploring.
Thank you.
Trustee Nordheim?
Under B3, and I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, we've had this conversation last year, but things are evolving. And so I'm wondering if we should be having a conversation regarding trips to the United States for any of our kids. And in terms of safety, in terms of the crossing the border, et cetera. So I lay that out. I don't know if that's a future consideration, but if people are putting something forward 6 months in advance, I think we need to be on top of it a little sooner. I worry about newcomer students crossing the border. I hope I'm not being paranoid, but that is a major concern for me. And I have always wondered for some trips why we go down to California, end up playing our cross city rival in a final, in a tournament, you know, in the state. So I have some major concerns about sending our kids across the border. So I don't know if this fits in the policy or where we should have that conversation, but I'm worried.
I've made a note. We can diarize that for a conversation. There may be some opportunity for policy development and certainly at least some trustee learning on the parameters under which kids are leaving the country, so sure.
Should we have any future trips for this year? Should we know what those are in advance so that informs our conversation also? If possible, yeah, please.
Did we get a list last year about what's coming up this year? Okay. I'm trying to remember the last one, how far it went.
You certainly were informed of trips.
Yeah.
I don't know that we went forward on that report, but that's information that we have.
Okay, for sure, thank you. Anything else on this one? All right, item 10 is correspondence. We have.
Do we have to vote on that?
And if there's a vote on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So we have a mover and a seconder. We've had good discussion on this. Seeing no other questions, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, now we can look at correspondence. So we have some correspondence that we've received from the department and from the Ed Funding Branch. There's also correspondence that was sent and some correspondence from the School Boards Association. Was there anything in particular that anyone wanted to point to within these items? Okay, oh, trustee Nordheim?
I was just wondering if we have had any registration from wildfire evacuees. Okay.
We haven't?
No.
Question. That takes us to action items. We have two. The first one is a bylaw related to religious instruction. Turning to the superintendent to set this one up for us.
Well, we're bringing a request for religious instruction to the board's attention for first reading. We have the letter and petitions provided by Shining Light of Manitoba. Have a bylaw that authorizes the instruction of in schools. To discuss and vote. So we're just bringing first reading this evening.
So the motion then is that bylaw 2025-2026-001 being a bylaw to authorize the instruction of religion at the French immersion school serving Sage Creek and Bonavista during the period of September 25 to June 26, received first reading. Seconder, please. Trustee Turner, second. Trustee Semenyola. Discussion on this motion? Trustee Palmquist.
I will vote for it, as I do, given that it is are required to vote for it. Just wanted to relay an anecdote, though, that there is a program like this in my son's school. His friend is in it. They wear t-shirts around school on the days that they do their thing. They actively discuss how you can attend it with other students, including my son. Kids even make DIY little pamphlets to hand out to the other kids. So I'm not saying any of those actions are forbidden or in contravention of the act. However, I do interpret them as being the program is continually and actively testing the boundaries of the prohibition or against the use of resources, school assets and resources and space, and that there will be a constant sort of well, I would call it a testing of the boundaries that's going to be almost constantly taking place in this and every other program that's place by their nature. So I just wanted to put that on the record, that is something that I am aware of from my children, and I will vote for it, as this is their legal right to run these programs. But I just want that people to be aware that that is the character of what's going on in these programs.
Okay. Can you provide any?
I don't need any feedback on that. Like, I know nothing untoward or inappropriate or again illegal is taking place. It's just my personal opinion that the boundaries of how these programs are meant to be contained within a school are porous and subject to interpretation.
Right, so my question, you're correct to remind us that this is a requirement under the PSA, but my wondering is whether the PSA also speaks to the extent to which groups can advertise their presence within the school. That was my question.
The groups can, but if a student who's a member of it, I mean, we don't have a dress code, we don't police what students can wear or say to each other or how they can express themselves. If a student is a participant in the program and they're proud of that and they tell their friends, I don't think that we have a right to forbid that or prevent that in any way. But I also am conscious of that there's certainly an adult somewhere involved in that sequence of events that it should just be, we should be mindful of into the future.
So what I can add is that in the few schools where we have religious instruction occurring, where a number of families have petitioned for that, we're always navigating being respectful of that diversity that expresses itself in that religious instruction occurring in a space in the school. And that students and adults in relationship to everyone else in the school, the rich diversity all of the student body and staff represent, and navigating those relationships and being respectful and mindful. And so it's, for as long as I've been at the board table, that has been an ongoing conversation, supporting principals and vice principals and staff. And will continue to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, and thanks for bringing that up, I appreciate it. Any other questions or discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried, thank you.
Yeah.
And then there is a new French immersion school supporting Sage Creek, and through the superintendent to Assistant Superintendent Anderson on this one.
Thank you. As the board is well aware, enrollment pressures continue to present challenges in the southeast quadrant of the school division. To this end, motions were adopted on March 18th, authorizing the superintendent to close enrollment in a given grade level at both Island Lakes Community School and Sage Creek School with new registrants and any siblings redirected to Shamrock School. We are now at a situation where enrollment at the new French immersion school has grown considerably over past months. The current shortage of French immersion teachers has also compelled reconfiguration of some classrooms, resulting in increased class size. As a result, the senior leadership team is bringing forward this evening a motion identical to those brought forward for Sage Creek School and Island Lakes Community School, but which would see new registrants in specific grades as enrollment and class composition reaches concerning levels that the superintendent identifies in consultation with the school principal would have then those students newly registering and their siblings registering at École Van Bellingham instead. This the motion also calls for school bus transportation to be provided at no cost to families and provides for ongoing monitoring of class size and composition at École Van Bellingham, where the students would be redirected. The fact being that École Van Bellingham, after the opening of the new school, does have some capacity this year to offset some of the increased enrollment numbers that we're seeing at the new school. I would put in perspective for you. You may recall that as we were talking about the design of the new school, the approval from the province, we were talking about this being a school for 900 students. There's an inconsistency within the government where the department that builds schools counts school capacity based on 25 students per classroom. But the other branch of government that deals more with pedagogy and education funding tells us only 20 students max, please, as much as possible in kindergarten to grade 3. So in a school the size of the new school, where there are 20 classrooms from kindergarten to grade 3, when you take 5 students out per classroom, effectively the capacity of the new school is 800 students, not 900 students. We, as of this morning, have 816 students enrolled at the new school, and we need to begin immediately redirecting new registrants to ACOG Van Belling with your approval of this motion.
Okay, so I will read the motion and then we'll have discussion. Whereas the Coal Sage Creek Bonavista Vista was designed to accommodate 900 students, assuming an average class size of 25 students. And whereas adherence to the provincial directive to strive for class size of 20 students in kindergarten to grade reduces the effective school capacity to approximately 800 students. And whereas enrollment at a Coal Sage Creek Bonavista Vista is projected to continue growing as new homes are constructed and occupied, and whereas there is available space at a Cole Van Bellingham, therefore be it resolved that the superintendent's report and recommendation to address enrollment pressures at a Coal Sage Creek Bonavista Vista for the 25-26 school year be received as information, and that the superintendent monitor class size and composition at a Coal Sage Creek Bonavista Vista in consultation with the school principal, and that when deemed necessary by the superintendent, enrollment at a given grade level be closed, new registrants and any siblings redirected to a Cole Van Bellingham, and that school bus transportation be provided at no cost to families, and that the superintendent monitor class size and composition at a Cole Van Bellingham in consultation with the school principal and provide additional staff as deemed necessary, and that the superintendent provide regular updates to the board. I need a mover and a seconder. Trustee Turner, second. Walker, thank you. Discussion on the motion? Trustee Walker?
Very much in agreement with the motion. Kindergarten to grade 3 classes, your students. I like sending kids off to other communities to learn more. Learning in their own buildings, so would there be considerations to do multi-age classes or other actions to try and keep classes to avoid sending students off to Bellingham? Is that a last measure? Get the things done for the...
Yeah, it's a last measure. And essentially that is how the motion reads, right? That we're consulting with the with school admin and staff, and when we've exhausted all alternatives, all possibilities, we're capping and sending families who buy new homes in the neighborhood to, in this case, the Van Bellingham, if you're living in Sage Creek or Bond.
Yep.
Is the school straight grades right now? Is like grade 1, 3, or they are doing a multi-age?
I believe straight grades are, no, not straight grades, sorry. I
can speak to that. They're bringing it up here. So they do have a blended model. So they are straight grades in kindergarten through grade 4, combined classes in grade 5, 6, and in grade 7, 8. The enrollment numbers in the 5 kindergarten classes are 20, 20, 20, 20, and 21. Enrollment numbers in the 4 grade 1 classes are 22, 22, 22, 23. In grade 2, 4 classes, 25, 25, 26, 26. And in grade 3, 4 classes of 25.
And that's why we're here.
Trustee Simignola, did you have your hand up?
No,
Sorry,
I didn't.
okay, trustee Simignola and then
Yeah.
trustee Kolachek.
This one is a very, very difficult one for me, for a community that's been through a lot over the last little. I mean, even as recent as July, you know, we had a post up on our website that describes the school capacity and called it 900. And this directive about smaller classes has been around for a while, no more than 23, 20 recommended. Talking about government and to the community, even the consultation that was held at Sept Creek, we've continually quoted 900. So changing it now for the reasons I have a very difficult time with that.
I understand. And part of the reason we're here tonight is also because, as we mentioned earlier in the evening, we have a staffing challenge at French Immersion as well. So we've had to collapse classrooms at the new school. So that is why our numbers are the way they are for now. We're looking for solutions. We may be able to find staff and again, solve the problem locally. But if we don't bring this to your attention now, we won't have the ability to move in ways that solve the problem for the community. Now, you know, allowing the school to grow beyond its capacity isn't any better for the community. Isn't going to serve the community anymore than redirecting as a last resort families that are new to the neighborhood to a school that has capacity.
Yeah, no, I think obviously this decision has been made with having access to more information than we do. But since I saw this on the agenda, I've been going back and forth to the data hub so I can have that information as I kind of process this, which has been very difficult to process.
And I've helped connect the dots, right, from earlier information shared in the evening about staffing
yeah,
challenges.
I just want to share my frustration and kind of like where this has come, not pointed at a specific person. I think how this has come forward, my suggestion, I mean, I don't work in your world, so I would have probably kept the grade 8s where they were sort of transitioning for 1 year and then another year to then go that up to 7 and have enough room and let that grow organically. And then we're dealing with something that we have would have projected numbers of we expect from those that are already enrolled to go into the following grade versus those that are coming in. I think that's I know we've exhausted all solutions. I'm sitting here that I think that could have been one solution maybe that we would have looked at before, because we already knew the client, so we already knew everything. That's why I'm having a hard time with it. Thank you.
And that is, you know, and that is an interesting option that we actually explored early on. Again, when thinking of a community, like you say, that has been navigating the challenge of overcrowding and a growing community that doesn't yet have its complement of schools and in the end opted for giving the option to families to choose between staying at Collège Béliveau or getting a year in the new school. And we were surprised by the overwhelming response of families wanting we thought more would have wanted to stay at Collège Béliveau. We're surprised to see the number who wanted that 1 year in a school, a dedicated K-8 school. So it's a challenge. I'm hoping we'll find a staffing solution to the problem sooner rather than. And I won't have to tell you that we've had to send families to new families to École Van Bellingham.
Yeah, I hope so too, and it's because when you look at where the school is located, anywhere west of that and south of that by the liquidation, whatever, landscaping liquidation center, all those are lots that are being developed today. So I will be telling families that probably purchased a home that's stone throw away from the school that you potentially have to go all the way down there, so it is what it is.
Mr. Kolachek.
How are we, like, how are we communicating this to the Sage Creek community? Because
Very carefully, right? Because right now, we don't have to worry anyone in Sage Creek. We don't have to worry anyone in the school. No one's going anywhere. And so it will be about communicating to new families if and when this is where they need to be redirected. Again, we're working on staffing solutions in the short term, medium term, and long term, so that maybe these classrooms do not have to remain collapsed because we have the space. We had the space for additional classroom, 2 additional classrooms in the early years. And so we're bringing this to you this evening because we don't want to surprise you later in the year. We want you to be aware of the situation that you're already aware of. You realize it's why we are talking government about building a school in Dawson Trails sooner rather than later. Why we're talking about building 2 in Precinct K and 3 schools on the other side of the perimeter, all within the next 10 years, because this city is quickly growing. North, south, east, and west, and we need governments to understand that we cannot continue to build schools so slowly in response to these growing neighborhoods. We also can't forget our established neighborhoods where schools have gone long past their due date and need to be replaced, like other cities in Canada, Montreal, Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, Regina. I've visited schools in all of these cities, new schools and established neighborhoods. So if other cities can do it, if other provinces can do it, Manitoba can as well.
just a follow-up to that. Because this is in public, this will create stir within the Sage Creek community. So I think communication is really important with that, and having messaging for us to use as we talk. And yes, we can push government, but I see it's just repeated, right? Like Island Lakes open full, Sage Creek open full, Sage Creek new open full, like it never ends.
Yes, regrettably, again, and it's why I'm so grateful that we opened the school. We're opening this, the school is open today. I'm so grateful that, as you recall, we had to leverage the media to get this school built just over a year. The school wasn't open. Construction was going to be at a standstill. I don't know when that school would have opened at government's decision to say we were unrealistic in building a school for so many students.
Anything else on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried, thank you. That takes us to public question period. And anybody on the line that has questions? No hands up. Okay. Mr. McGurn, nice to see you again. Welcome, President of LRTA. Hope you had a good summer. All right. Any questions, comments for us?
All good.
All right. Thank you. And that brings us to the end of the agenda. We still have some items to review in camera. So we are adjourned. We'll take a quick break, and then let's come back in a couple of minutes and deal with those. We'll figure out which ones we need to do. Oh, yeah. Which of the items left in camera to sure deal with? Where did we leave?
Left off at